I'll do this. Love to do this. Actually, you can't do this with every audience. You need a certain sense of humour for this. Bent. I think you might like it. No, so, but really, this is something. I didn't write this at all. This was written by loads of different people who hadn't got a clue what they were writing at the time, and I found it on a bus in Birmingham, or a buzz, if you're in Birmingham, a buzz in Birmingham, and well, a friend of mine found it actually. I'll be honest, and I was with him at the time, so it counts, doesn't it? And we'd been to a picture house in Birmingham, and it's called the Cinephone, and it's fairly self-explanatory. The emphasis is on sin. The Cinephone. You know, they show all these double, treble X film things, you know, things like Sex and Lust in Sweden and Kiss My Whip, things like that. And have you got the equivalent in Mansfield? Has Mansfield got one of those? This is it, is it? Hang about at the end, I think. No, you may have, I don't know. I won't ask whether you've been to this type of cinema, because you weren't going to answer anyway, but the Cinephone in Birmingham is like a really seedy picture house, you know, like the commissioner wears a raincoat, one of those. And I went along there to see a couple of films with this mate of mine, George, because George, because he hadn't seen any of these type of films either, and so we're sort of vaguely interested. And, and we went in there and we sat down watching it all, and I must admit, I don't think I've ever been so bored in all my life. Really, aren't they terrible? You're very good at it. Oh yeah. You haven't been, have you, Henry? No, dear, no. Disgusting things. Look, hang on a minute, we'll pay the union rate, all right. Row! It's a wombat. What's that? Yes. And, no, he read dire things. And the one we were watching was all in Swedish or something, or Wiganese, I don't know. Couldn't understand a word what it was about, you know. We weren't reading the subtitles, I'll be honest. And I must admit, we just sort of sat there bored stiff with this... You're very quick out there, aren't you? You're going to like this, you know. You're going to... So we were paralysed with boredom. And we decided to leave, you know, fed up. And it was about 10 to 4 in the afternoon. And we'd been in about 3 days, I suppose, or give or take. And we caught this bus home, because my motor was in the garage. And it was, I got an eye compression sump that went wrong, I think. And they replaced that. And we had to catch this bus, and we caught a number 1. Right. And number 1 in Birmingham is a bit of a joke, because it's like the school bus route, and like all the kids from the schools get on it, you see. And school out time in Birmingham is 4 o'clock, and we got on about 10 to 4. And there's a school in Birmingham called Moseley, and because there's a place called Moseley Village, and it's like it's a very trendy part of Birmingham. It's like the Chelsea set of Birmingham, you know. In fact, they say if all the Moseley dolly chicks were laid end to end, no one would be in the slightest bit surprised. You know. So, and there's this school called Moseley. Well, it was called Moseley Grammar School. It's not now. It's now called Moseley Mixed. Yeah, it's still all boys. That's what I can never get. Education's getting very progressive, I think. It used to be a terrific school. I mean, I went to Moseley Grammar myself. I was there about 7 years, and I got 2 O levels. That's the way it goes. You've either got it or you haven't, you know. I got maths and art O level. There's not a lot you can do in life with maths and art O level. I was painting computers for about 4 years, And, and this Moseley Mixed has this terrible reputation for violence. It's a very violent school. And like they kidnap other prefects and put them in meat pies and things. And school out time in Birmingham, as I say, is 4 o'clock. And we got into Moseley Village at 4:30, right? And apparently the first 3 buses had got through. But this is the one they're going to stop, and they're all on there, like, in the road. And we're on the top deck, me and George, looking down at the front window, going, my God, they're not getting on here, are they, George? And the bus was rocking all over. They are, they ripped the door out. 400 of them. The conductor was terrified. Oh dear, terrible. All on the top deck, opening all the windows, gobbing on everybody. And me and George are sitting in between the seats on the floor, you see. And I'm reading a copy of the Times. With a Beano in. Old habits die hard. Well, I'd done the crossword. The Times crossword is so easy these days, isn't it? Like 6 minutes, no problem. I always do it on the bus because it impresses everybody, Times. Must be a professor. I always leave it on the seat for them when they get off, And they pick it up and they start reading words like "wugahumftamuff." And George, while all this melee was going on, was like laughing his socks off, And I said, what are you laughing at? And he handed me this piece of paper. And I started reading, I started to fall about it. This is the funniest thing I've ever read. It really is. As I say, like it doesn't go down everywhere you do it, but like I think you'll enjoy it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you some genuine extracts from motor claim forms which were received by a large insurance office in London. And basically what happens is you drive around, bikes and cars, you have accidents, right? And when you have an accident, you have to fill in a silly claim form, right? Which they send to you. Things like, what's your name? They've sent you the damn form, what's it? Address, and how fast were you going at the time of the accident? It's a stupid question because everybody puts 28 miles per hour, right? And on the back is a big empty space, and it says, give in your own words a description of how the accident occurred. This is where you get your chance to write your version of the accident down, right? Which is totally different from everybody else's. And these are genuinely, and people say to me, surely they're made up. These are not. These are genuinely what people wrote on their claim forms when they'd had an accident and sent into this insurance office in London, right? And they're all true. I'll read a few to you now. The first one. The accident was due to an invisible lorry narrowly missing me. I bumped into a stationary tree coming in the other direction. I was scraping my near side on the bank when the accident happened. The other man altered his mind and I had to run over him. I bumped into a lamppost which was obscured by human beings. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I haven't got. The accident was caused by me waving to the man I hit last week. I blew my horn, but it would not work as it was stolen. I thought the side window was down, but it was up, and I found out when I put my bloody head through it. This is the best one, I think. I knocked over a man. He admitted it was his fault, that he'd been knocked down before.